What's up, guys? It's my favorite time of year, and this means not only Christmas time, but it's tamale season. So every year we like to make tamales, and since this year I've been eating keto all year, I decided to try out a keto recipe. So right here I have 4 cups of almond flour in my mixer, and I'm adding 2 tablespoons of vegetable shortening or lard. You can use any type of oil. Traditionally, you would use lard. And then I go ahead and mix that in really good. I also have 175 grams of pork rinds cut up in the food processor, and I put those aside in a bowl. Then I took a little bit of the almond flour and put in my 8 chiles that I've had soaking in hot water from my Keurig. And I'm just going to blend them up. That way they're nice and smooth. And I find that it's easier to add a little bit of something with them, since it's just hard to blend things in my food processor when it's a small amount. Also in my almond flour, I had mixed 4 tablespoons of baking powder in as well. And here I am pouring in my 1 cup of egg whites. I did double the recipe, so you might notice that my measurements are doubled from what I'm saying, but I wanted to have extra. But the original recipe has 1 cup of egg whites. So I went ahead and blended those in there as well. I just love the color of this sauce that I've made, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to mix that in to my dry ingredients until it kind of forms a pasty, spreadable, dough-like consistency. As you notice, I'm adding just a little bit of my dry ingredients at a time and getting them well mixed, because separately my dry ingredients are a little bit too full for my mixer. I'm adding about a teaspoon of garlic powder, a teaspoon of onion powder, about half a teaspoon of cumin, just to add that extra little bit of layer of flavor. I like to over season my food or tamales normally, but as you can see, here's the paste-like consistency. So I took the leftover juice from the chiles that were, or the liquid that were they were soaking in, and poured it over some frozen turkey that we had left over from Thanksgiving. This is probably about 2 to 3 cups of meat to add. I did my typical taco seasoning, so that would be my chili powder, garlic, onion, cumin, salt, pepper, a little bit of broth, and you can shred meat easily by putting it in your mixer and turning it on. This is my husband's favorite trick to shred meat. Usually when we make carnitas or barbecue things, we'll shred it in here. It just makes the job go really fast. As you can see, perfectly shredded every time. I've been having my corn husk soak in hot water while I've been preparing all the ingredients. I usually like to put a plate on top to weigh them down, make sure they're all covered If you have small bits like these, I kind of save them for placing on top in the steamer, but try to make sure that they're bigger pieces and complete, like this one here. And take a little bit of your masa, and you're going to spread it till it's about 1/4 inch thick, maybe a little thinner. This is kind of up to your own personal taste as well. If you like your tamales a little bit more masa dense, then make more masa. I like mine a little less masa, a little more meat, so I tend to make them about 1/4 inch thick or thinner. And I try to make it into a rectangular shape so that way when it's folded over, everything kind of stays in and goes where it should go. Almost like you're making sushi. Place a little meat down the center and roll over the edge of the masa until it's touching the other side, and then tuck in the edges and then fold the end over, and there you have it. Set aside and continue. Go ahead and fill your pot. I tend to put a bowl covered in foil in the center to try to help keep them into a cone shaped inside the pot, and that way all the moisture kind of drips in the right places and not down the center of the tamales as they're steaming. My mom always told me not to pack them in too tight, but I always tend to make so many and I don't want to do more than one steam, so I have them fairly tight in there, so I didn't have to stuff corn husks around them to make sure that there was spaces filled. So I did put my extra corn husks on top and tuck it in the edges. That way the moisture from the lid doesn't drip down into your tamales and make them soggy. So take your extra pieces and stuff them all over and around for your lid to go on the top. Turn it on medium to low heat just till your water is at a simmer down in the bottom of your pot, and give it about 3 hours on a simmer, and they're beautifully done. Be careful taking them out because they can fall apart just because the oils are hot. I like to let mine go in the fridge overnight, and there you have it. Okay. That's a tasty tamale. Turned out really good. It tastes just like a regular tamale. The masa is perfect. So good. You should try it.